Good morning po. I am Teacher Hershey Matusalin, ang inyo pong occupational therapist. Today po, I will be discussing behavior modification techniques or BMTs. Okay, what are BMTs? Ito po ay mga set of strategies na maaaring makatulong sa inyo sa pag-handle sa inyong mga anak sa bahay. Ito po ay ating pwedeng maging tulong para po ma-desire natin yung behavior na gusto nating matutunan po nila. Okay? And if meron pong mga undesirable behaviors or inappropriate behaviors po na natutunan ng ating mga anak, ay maaari po nating mabago ito sa pamamagitan ng mga techniques na ito. Okay? These principles are actually came from the operant conditioning of B.F. Skinner and Pavlov. To have an overview po of our BMTs, we have the modeling, chaining, fading, cueing and prompting, approximation, positive reinforcements, contract setting, use of breaks, providing choices, and token economics. So first off po is the modeling. Sa madaling salita, ito po ay ang pagde-demonstrate kung paano po gawin yung isang activity or isang behavior. So, kailangan po natin i-model ito. No? Sa ating pong mga batang may special na kondisyon, kailangan po talaga ng external na teacher para po sila ay matuto sa isang skill. No? Sila po ay kailangan talagang turuan. Okay? Madalas po kasi wala po talagang tumututok sa kanila, kaya ang mga behaviors na kanilang natututunan ay madalas hindi po nila alam kung tama or mali. Wala silang idea about it. So, importante po na meron talagang magmo-model sa kanila. Okay, modeling po ay ang number one na kailangan po nating gawin sa ating mga anak. And dapat po ay lagi, lalo na kung ang isang activity or isang behavior na gusto nating ituro ay hindi pamilyar pa sa inyong mga anak. Okay? So, modeling, kailangan po i-demonstrate at kailangan po nililabel nyo. For example, gusto nyo ang anak nyo ay kunin ang isang bagay, pag sinabi nyong get or kunin mo, kailangan po ipakita at i-label nyo ito. Okay? Kailangan po meron verbal na kasama ang pagmamodel. Okay? By that po is na-activate ninyo ang visual at ang auditory systems ng ating mga anak, which is needed for them to learn. Okay? Modeling po ay kailangan din ng repetition. Okay? Kahit sino naman po, kailangan paulit-ulit nating makita itong mga ito para ma-learn natin ang mga behaviors. Okay? And if your child was able or nagaya niya ang inyong ipinakita, maganda po ay kailangan natin i-acknowledge yung behavior na iyon para mas ma-encourage na gawin nila ulit yon, lalo na kapag may i-demonstrate na kayong bago. No? And if nag-try po ang inyong mga anak na gawin ang isang bagay pero not really that perfect pa rin, still kailangan po ay i-acknowledge pa rin po natin kahit hindi pa po talaga masyadong nakuha, no? Ang importante po ay i-encourage po natin yung efforts nila at bigyan pa rin po natin sila ng praises dahil tinry po nilang gawin yung gusto nyo pong ipagawa. So, example niyan, very good for waiting, very good for trying. Okay. Next po is yung chaining and fading. Okay, chaining and fading po ay isa sa mga strategies, lalo na kapag medyo complex po ang ating ipapagawa sa mga anak or maraming steps, no? So, for example po is gusto nyo siyang matutong magsuot ng socks. Okay? So, kailangan po bilang isang teacher sa bahay, kailangan i-analyze po muna natin, okay? Ano ba yung mga steps para matuto nating or magawa natin ang pagsusuot ng medyas. So, una, i-open muna natin yung medyas. Susunod ay ipapasok natin ang ating mga daliri sa paa. Pagkatapos po is ipapasok naman po natin ang ating heel and then ipo-pull up natin yung medyas sa ating binti. Okay? So, if nag-model po tayo sa ating mga anak at tinry po ng ating mga anak na gawin itong pagsusuot at napansin po ninyo na nahirapan siya sa number 1, sa pag-open. Baka kailangan pang i-assist, no? Medyo mahina pa yung kamay. Okay? Tapos sa shooting of toes, nahirapan din siya kasi hindi pa masyadong maganda yung coordination niya. Sa pull to heel, nagawa niya, no? Parang kasi marunong siyang mag-extend ng paa. And then it's easier to pull up kasi medyo smooth yung body part natin sa heel part, and yung pang pull up din po sa may binte is nagawa din po niya. So basically, if we analyze the activity, yung number 3 and 4 nagawa niya, yung 1 and 2 hindi. So I would suggest po you can do assistance first sa first 1 and 2. And iyan po yung gawin ninyo ng in repetition para ma-practice at ma-master ng mga anak natin. So, chaining would really help us, no, and also your child to learn the steps one by one. Para po, at the start, if you see na ang anak nila ay 50% pa lang po ang kaya nilang gawin dun sa isang activity na yon, and then once you model and you repeat and you practice the first step and the second step, and then eventually nagawa niya na rin po niya, naging 75%, nagawa niya na yung pag-open ng socks, and then the second one, naging okay na rin yung pagsusuot niya ng toes, naging 100% na po ang performance ng ating anak. So, it really added to the independence, no? So, fading po is usually ginagamit natin ito kapag nakikita na po natin na during the practice, nag-e-effort na siya, nakakaya niya na, okay? Sa pag-open na with the support of fine motor strengthening na-open niya na yung pagsasocks. Tapos, nag-coordination exercises din kayo. Ngayon, nasushoot niya na rin yung toes. So, pag nakikita niya pong meron ng effort at malapit niya nang magawa ito ng on his own, tanggalin na po natin yung ang tawag dito, yung assistance natin, no? So, chaining and fading po is one of the strategies na that we can always do, lalo na kung may motor issues po ang ating mga anak. Okay? Next po is yung cueing and prompting. Okay, there are different kinds of cueing po. Okay, cues po is like giving them some clues, alright, or hints or supports. For example po, I have here a paper. Okay, gusto nyo siyang kumuha ng paper. Okay, so pag sinabi mong get paper at hindi niya nagawa, okay, so pwede nyo po siyang pakitaan ng visual. Ito yung paper. Alright? And then, if medyo hindi siya masyadong familiar sa paper, gusto nyo ituro na ako na by paper, okay, anak, get paper, bigyan nyo ng sound. So, this is auditory. Okay? O, tap nyo yung paper. Ito yung paper, anak. Okay? Or physical naman, so you are going to assist your child to hold their hands to physically help them get the paper. Okay? And then positional, if you want your child to get the paper on the table, kunyari mo, meron kayong paper dito at meron kayong pencil, you want them to get the paper, ilapit nyo po ng mas malapit yung position ng paper sa kanya. Para it means you're cueing that the paper is the closer one. Okay? Prompting naman po is to encourage participation kapag po medyo nagiging challenging na yung activity. Like for example, medyo paubos na yung attention and concentration ng ating mga anak. So sometimes we do prompting. Kahit po sa ating mga adults, ginagawa din po natin ang prompting. Medyo may konting pilit tayo, lalo na kapag medyo hindi tayo masyado ng engage. Okay? So, verbal prompting po is like, sige na, kaya, gawin mo na yan para matapos na tayo. Okay? Or for example, physical, if you want them to stand up, okay, and get their shoes, sometimes we give them a little bit of pull. Come on, stand up na anak. Okay, para we can, we can go to upstairs na. Yung mga ganun. Okay? And next po is approximation or shaping. Ano isa pong other term dito? This is actually used or useful sa mga children na medyo maikli pa po ang pasensya, lalo na kapag medyo na-challenge sila sa isang activity. Okay? So, this is a strategy na kailangan tulungan nyo silang maging successful dun sa activity kasi nga medyo kailangan pa nila ng guidance, no? Hindi pa ganun kaganda yung performance nila. So, para for them to improve their self-esteem, kaya ko pala yung isang bagay. So, you will use approximation. Okay, for example po, I have here a puzzle board. Meron ako dito apple, meron akong banana, tsaka meron akong cherry. Okay? So, I want my child to match the apple. Kaya ito yung puzzle ng apple, ipoposisyon ko na malapit sa apple. Medyo malapit na siya sa katotohanan. Okay? Para the child will already know or nabigyan nyo na ng approximation yung bata and then she will just slide the puzzle to the apple. Okay? It's also important if your child is not yet good in matching, for example, maganda po, piliin natin yung mga puzzles na walang masyadong madaming choices. Okay? The more choices po kasi, the more challenging it would be for your child. So, sometimes po ako as a therapist, kapag po yung ginagamit kong toy is around, for example, number puzzle, 1 to 20 yung nakalagay na puzzle pieces doon. So, yung anak ko is 1 minute pa lang yung attention span niya. Okay? So, dapat po, i-adjust din natin yung activity. So, sometimes I cover half of the board, okay, para mas maging easier po, no, yung success or most likely maging successful po yung activity na papagawa natin. Okay? Next naman po is yung positive reinforcements. Ito po is yung usually na lagi nating naririnig sa mga magulang like, very good! Good job! Okay? So, actually po maraming mga types of positive reinforcements. Ito po yung mga praises or mga verbal praises na ako po, I encourage everyone, if gagawa po tayo ng praises or gagamit ng praises, it should be specific. May feedback po, no? Like, for example, good job. Saan po good job ang ating mga anak? Good job siya kasi nag-wait siya. Very good, anak, you waited. Okay, very good, anak, nag-pack away. No? So, these are very good example po kasi your child will specifically know kung saan siya naging very good. Okay? Another type of positive reinforcement po is affection. If your child, for example, gusto niya siyang makatapos ng activity and then she did it, okay, or he did it, you can give hugs as well. Okay? Di pa po kailangan i-feel natin ang emotional depth ng ating mga anak. So, affection is one way for them to encourage. Also, once we get this affection, it really gives us a good feeling or a positive feeling. So, the more likely that they will be encouraged to engage to your activities. Okay? And then, tangible rewards din po, no? We can also give them something like toys, their favorite toy. O anak, pag na-finish mo the activity, you can already play na your favorite toy. Or you can have na your favorite stuff. Okay? And also, preferred activities like, for example, kung gusto niyang lumabas and mag-play sa garden or gusto niya ng iPad time. Okay? So, you can give these as reinforcements right after ng desired behavior. Okay? With positive reinforcements po, it's important na sabihin po nila din ito right after the behavior. Kasi for example, nag-finish siya ng activity and then meron na siyang another activity na ginagawa and then bigla niyang sasabihin na, ay anak, very good ka kanina sa puzzle. So, sometimes, hindi na ganun ka-strong yung effect nun sa ating mga anak. So, timing is very crucial po. Dapat ibigay niyo yung mga reinforcements na ito right after ng behavior na ipinakita niya. Okay? So, also, it's really important to note, maging mindful po tayo sa pagbibigay ng mga reinforcements na ito kasi sometimes parents po, no, nagbibigay sila ng very good, ng good job kahit wala pong ginawa yung anak or hindi ginawa or hindi natapos yung activity. So, hindi po lagi dapat ginagamit ito. Kailangan po gamitin ito kapag yung desired behavior po na gusto natin ay nakita natin. Okay? Kasi once we give these reinforcements, tapos hindi siya nag-finish ng activity and you still give this one, parang ang iisipin or matututunan po ng ating mga anak na, ay kahit pala hindi ko tapusin yung activity, very good ako. Okay? So, dapat po mindful po tayo sa paggamit nito. Next naman po is contract setting and use of breaks. Contract setting is usually used to kids na medyo nakakaintindi na, okay? And this is like a deal, making a deal to your child at before the activity, no? For example po niyan is, kunyari pupunta po kayo sa therapy, you can give a promise like, anak, pag very good ka kay teacher, ganito, we will go to Jollibee after. Okay? So, make sure lang po when you use contract setting, it should be realistic and it should be motivating para ma-encourage yung mga anak natin. So, for example, favorite niyo pala is McDonald's. So, dapat McDonald's yung gamitin ninyong reward, no? And also, baka naman hindi realistic yung gagamitin yung promise dito. Like, for example, anak, pag nag-finish ka ng therapy at very good ka, punta tayo ng Disneyland. So, dapat po achievable within the day or within the contract yung inyong magiging deal, no? So, using of breaks naman po is, for example, yung anak po nila is medyo nagiging medyo may pilitan na kayo na nangyayari sa activity ninyo. So, try to use breaks, no? Kailangan maging observant din po tayo. Pag nakikita nyo medyo napapagod na yung anak natin, we can always use breaks. There are different types of breaks. Like, for example, movement breaks, no? Medyo pag nakikita nyo hindi na maganda yung attention span niya and may sensory seeking behaviors or sensory input na kailangan yung anak nyo, give them a little bit of jumping time muna or walking muna kapag medyo halfway ng tabletop activity medyo na siya. Hindi na siya ganun kaganda sa pag-attend. Okay? For example din, water break or snack break. Okay? But make sure din po, once you give the use of breaks strategy, always remind them that they will have a specific time of these breaks and they have to go back to the activity. Okay? Huwag pong mawawala yung completion of task pa rin. Okay? Anak, let's have a 5-minute break. Okay? What do you want to do? You do muna water break and snack break muna tayo, and then after that, we can go back to your activity. So, ganyan po. Providing choices is also important, no, for your child to engage with you. Providing choices is giving them the motivating activities. Let them be involved in choosing the activities. Kasi po, kahit tayo, when we want to do something, as much as possible, mas ganado tayong gawin ng isang bagay kapag po medyo interested tayo sa ginagawa natin, no? Yung compliance natin is more higher para kapag po motivating yung ginagawa natin. So, it's important po kapag nag-activity kayo, so give them choices. Anong gusto mo? Blocks or puzzles? Okay? And also, to the child, okay, pag nakita niya na she has a control in the activity, kasi meron siyang parang involvement sa activity, the more that they will be naturally compliant with the task. Okay? Token economy po is one of the strategies also if you want your child to parang may nire-request sila na something na a little bit sometimes mahal or hindi lagi siyang readily available sa mga bata. Like for example, my child would really request to buy a toy, no? So you will use tokens as a symbol that they need to gain. For example, isang token yung marireceive niya kapag naghugas siya ng pinggan. Or isang token yung marireceive niya kapag nag-pack away siya. Alright? And then, you have to be specific if you want to use this token economy strategy. Kailangan po clear, no? O, kapag nag-waiting hands ka, 1 star. Kapag naman nag-pack away ka, 1 star din. Pero kapag natapos mo yung session natin, you can get 3 stars. So, kapag naman naka-complete ka na ng 10 stars, anak, you can have na your bubbles or yung toy na gusto mong ma-achieve. Okay? So, this is how token economy works. Planned ignoring naman po is one strategy that is actually used. It's not really that positive, pero it's very effective. No? Optional po ito lalo na to children na who are trying to get your attention with unwanted behaviors, no, or inappropriate behaviors. Sometimes kasi, no, children do inappropriate behaviors to get our attention. Or sometimes we describe it as manipulative, pero it's actually not encouraged to be used now. Okay, so we use planned ignoring by not giving attention to the inappropriate behavior. Okay, but we give more highlight to the positive ones. Okay? For example, during the session, nag-activity kayo, you acknowledge the effort, you highlight the effort. And then, later on, medyo naging naughty siya, he threw the ball, or he threw the puzzle. So, sometimes I don't give attention, or I really do flag ignoring with the negative behavior. Instead, I encourage the child, or instruct the child, to do na lang what he needs to do. Okay? If he threw away, I will not give any attention with that. Okay, and then later on I will just instruct him, you pick up your puzzle and then put it on the table. Okay, it's also important po that we have to be mindful also with our kids. Sometimes po kasi kahit ako, no, medyo guilty tayo dito, nakaka-distract most of the time ang screen time sa ating mga magulang, no? Sometimes nalilibang tayo sa ating pinapanood and then yung anak natin hindi natin nabibigyan ng atensyon. Okay? Tinatawag na pala na nila tayo, pero we are really busy with our phones. No? So, it's really important po na we have to ensure that our children receives consistent attention para po hindi na sila mag-resort into negative behaviors para po makuha ang ating attention. Ako po, personally, I really practice at home. If I am on phone and then my child calls me, I really turn down the phone and give my full attention to my child. Okay? So, I hope sana po gawin din po natin ito para po your child will also learn that they can easily get your attention positively. Okay? Aside from behavior modification techniques, this is also important, yung mga environmental modification techniques na tinatawag natin or EMTs. So, one best example po nito is the visual schedules. These are pictures, okay, that you can use to help your child learn behaviors or to learn skills. Okay, this is one example of a link that you can actually find in the internet. So, may mga visuals po diyan na you can use and you can actually parang choose kung ano man po ang magiging dynamics ninyo sa bahay. Okay? So, what are visual schedules? No? This is really, really important, and this is really one of the recommendation that I give to the parents. No? Bakit visual schedule is effective? No? The child will learn the routine. The child will know the activity that needs to be done, and she will know or they will know kung ano yung ina-expect natin sa kanila na kailangan nilang i-accomplish within the day. Through visual schedule din po, naturally, natuturuan na natin ng mga anak natin na mag-sequencing. Oh, eating tayo, next is taking a bath, next is ganito, next is ganito. And through visual schedule din po, it has an effect to our children. Nagiging secured sila kasi they already know what to do. Okay? So, it gives them the sense of security na, oh, I just need to do this, to do this, to do this. Okay, nagiging structured yung activities nila. So, their sense of self is actually building, no? Napipredict nila yung mga kailangan nilang gawin. Okay, visually schedule is also good for increased communication. Okay, marami pong mga parents gusto nila magsalita yung anak nila. Gusto nila matutong mag-interact ang anak nila. But, the interaction at home is very, very low. So, visual is scheduled when you train your child to do the activities of their daily routines. You have to train them. You have to teach them. Kailangan po nating turuan. Anak, good morning! Wake up time na! It's time to do your daily routine or your morning routine. Okay, anak, first, let's go to wee wee. It's wee wee time. Look at our schedule. It's wee wee first. Okay, let's go to the toilet. And it's time to wee wee. Okay, so with visual schedule, it's easier to teach our child to learn vocabularies, to learn the things that you wanted them to learn. Okay, it also teaches them adaptability. For example, sa routine po nila, meron ditong school day. Okay, after mag-lunch, pupunta na tayo ng school. But unfortunately, merong bagyo, nasuspend ang klase. So, there is a change. And typically, especially kapag po mga children with autism, hindi po sila ganun kagaling mag-adapt kapag po may bago sa routine. So, this is also one way for you to teach your children to adapt to changes. So, anak, today we're not going to school. So, do you want to do puzzle na lang instead here, or do you want to do obstacle course? So, you can have them remove the school picture and then have them choose. So, by doing that, you offer choices and you already taught them how to be flexible or adaptive. Okay, next naman po is another example po ng EMTs natin is yung pagsiset up po natin ng working areas sa ating bahay. If you have an extra space, it would be nice po if ang ating mga anak, meron po silang sariling station doon. And most of the time po, I encourage the parents to set up a table and chair, lalo na pag mga tabletop activities, no? I-position po natin ang mga mesa in the corner of the house. And then, wala po mga anything sa wall para po mas magiging maganda po ang engagement ng mga anak natin kapag po nag-work sila on the table. This is also good, lalo na kung in preparation na po kayo sa school. No? Kasi po kapag nakaposisyon yung mesa nila or working area nila in the middle of the sala, for example, mas madami pong distractions and it would really challenge your child to complete the task. While comparing it to a table facing the wall or the chair facing the wall, wala po choice yung anak natin but to look on the activity in front of them. No? And the more chances na matapos po nila yung pinapagawa natin. Okay? It's also important po, no, we have to be mindful if your child has having difficulty in concentration, if you have activities na ipapagawa sa kanila, make sure din po yung environment is really good for their concentration. Kasi po, sometimes we give instructions to our child to do something pero not naka-turn on TV or ang ingay, no? Madaming nagpi-play or it would be nice na i-adjust po natin yung environment lalo na if you know that your child is challenged pa when it comes to focus. And also to those children na meron pang mga motor incoordination or maraming mga sensory inputs at medyo hindi pa ganun kaganda yung safety awareness nila, body awareness nila, I would suggest po na maglagay po tayo ng, for example, mats on the floor, lalo na kung madalas na fall ng ating mga anak or meron silang mga self-injurious behaviors that could really affect their body parts, no? Sometimes children po kasi whenever they have tantrums also, no, or meltdowns, sometimes humihiga sila and then they will just turn on the floor. So, it would be nice po if meron tayong mga mats. And also, sa mga corners ng table, sometimes we need to cover them para po sa safety precautions na rin. Okay, so that's it po. I hope you will you learn a lot of these strategies and apply them at home so that your child would be able to be encouraged to learn behaviors and to learn skills. Maraming salamat po at kung meron po kayong questions ay you may always come to me. Salamat po. Okay? So, ako, nawala ang aking last slide. Okay, balik po natin. Ano ba ang last slide ni teacher?